on Israel. Kamal, did you get a chance to watch it?
Yeah, I watched that fucking snooze fest. That
was interesting.
Man, fuck all that.
It was pure comedy.
Damn near to sleep. Both them coons up there talking that bullshit. But I watched it though. I watched the whole thing. You know,
it's hilarious. Because I told Nora I wanted to punch my screen because I couldn't stand how stupid one of them was being.
This is how Officer Tatum says he wants to be addressed.
Can you just quickly introduce yourself to the audience, and I guess we'll kind of get right into it after, because I know we got limited time.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know me, I'm the Officer Tatum, aka Talmud Tatum. You can see it in the description section. Talmud Tatum Steen for some of y'all. But anyway, man.
So that's how he wants to be represented. I mean, I just want to know how many shekels they paid him for this, because they should have gave bruh a book on some talking points before he went there. That's all I'm gonna say. If you're gonna go, at least know what you're saying. Here we go, the next clip, and then I'll let y'all respond.
Who runs America then, Brandon? Who runs America?
I mean, it's a
few different things. It comes full circle. Jews run America.
Really?
Jews run America.
How do Jews run America, Myron?
Okay.
Who's in charge right now? Who's the leader of the country?
Donald Trump. And
Who's the Speaker of the House?
Mike Johnson, whatever.
Mike Johnson.
But all these guys are hardcore Zionists. They don't have to be Jewish. They're hardcore Zionists. He was in the West Bank taking pictures. He was in the West Bank taking pictures.
Because they love Israel.
Bragging.
Because they love Myron. Because they love Israel. That's how is that nefarious?
Paid by Israel.
Their payment to Israel is not the only reason why they love Israel.
You're telling me that doesn't influence it?
I don't think so. I think what's happening is they're picking people who love Israel.
I think if you get $1 million, $2 million from a person, right, a donor, you're probably going to care about what they care about, and that donor is going to say, you know what, just protect Israel for us, okay? You might come on.
No, Myron. I think you got it backwards. What you got it backwards. What the donor is looking for is I'm gonna put money behind a person that agrees with my position,
and then you can influence that position.
Yeah, but they already agree with it.
No.
So me.
They agree with it because they're getting paid.
No,
or they're misinformed.
Subjective.
Or they're misinformed.
No, that's subjective. I think that for instance, I'm a Zionist.
Yeah.
If I were to run for office, a bunch of people who are Zionists would love to back me.
Yep. You're right.
They're not going to make me be a Zionist.
Okay.
They're just going to back me because I am a Zionist.
Let's go through this. If me and you both ran, right, for government in the United States,
yes,
you would be able to raise a significant amount more of money than I can because you are pro-Israel.
From Jews. No, I'll raise money from Jews more than you would.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. They're the ones that have a ridiculous amount of wealth in this country and have a ridiculous amount of influence. Okay? They run the media. That's the truth.
But think about this.
They run social media platforms. That's the truth. The head of all the main agencies was a Zionist Jew, pretty much. YouTube, Susan Wojcicki, right? Now it's Neil Mohan.
Myron, if that was true,
Instagram, Adam Mosseri, Mark Zuckerberg.
Myron, if that was true, then the propaganda.
Google, Sergey Brin.
The propaganda against Israel and all the mainstream media just bashing Israel every day, that wouldn't exist if they ran out of media. And then every Zionist.
It's literally about to get censored. They've just bought TikTok. And then here's another thing too. Notice how I know you said that the media bashes Israel all the time.
They bought TikTok.
Yes, Larry Ellison, who is a huge Zionist supporter, gives millions of dollars to the IDF, bought TikTok.
How is it? Just
he's a Jew as well.
He's a Zionist.
He's a Jew as well.
He's Jewish, meaning they won.
No, I'm saying that they are going.
They bought. You said they bought it.
Yes,
America bought it. An American bought TikTok.
Yes, an American.
They didn't sell it to an Israeli.
Who also donates a lot of money to a foreign government and is friends with the prime minister and lets him vacation on his island.
There's no way Officer Tatum is this fucking stupid in real life. Excuse my French.
Well, I'll let you go first, but I think the dumbest thing that he said when I watched the whole debate is, why are so many kids getting unalived? He doesn't understand why the kids are being unalived, but statistically, Palestine is majority children. So it's like, I don't get what he didn't get about that. But anyways, you can go first, Mia.
So it really shows that clearly they're paying whoever is paying Officer Tatum clearly isn't paying him enough to open a Google search and to do a simple Google search. He went in there woefully, completely unprepared. None of his arguments stuck or made sense. I've never seen somebody go on a debate in front of thousands of people and have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. He's a freaking idiot. I'm sorry. I can't even believe I'm agreeing with Myron Gaines, but I watched the entire thing and Myron Gaines swept the rug with him. You could absolutely tell that Officer Tatum didn't even, he thought the conflict started in October 7th. Has no idea that this conflict started in 1912 is originally when it really started filtering in, and then ramped up in 1952. He has no idea how these individuals came into what was known as the British Mandate of Palestine and how they displaced all those families. This man is pathetic. He's pathetic, and honestly, I'm sad that he's black. Because it's been a long time where I've looked at a motherfucker and been, you are so stupid. I'm sad that you're black because you're bringing the collective intelligence of us all down. Going on a professional debate of sorts online and not even knowing your facts. Literally, a Google search would have told them basic facts. And then just sit there. And my favorite part, I'll land with this. My favorite part was, it's not a genocide because they airdropped leaflets to let those people know that they were going to get murdered. I'll land my plane with that. It's not a genocide because the Israelis threw one leaflet in the air and said, hey, we're going to bomb. It's not a genocide at all. No worries.
Well, I got a clip that talks about it being an apartheid, and I'm going to have Skeptic go and Kamal go on this next clip. Guys, if you're watching, please hit the like button. Thank you for supporting us.
Well, I said it's an apartheid because Israel occupies the West Bank. They also occupy Gaza. These people have no rights. They have no representation. They can't vote. They can't do anything.
That's not true.
The people in Gaza can vote. The people in the West Bank can vote.
People in Gaza voted for Hamas.
Sovereignty?
They can't vote in Israel, but they vote for what's in their own territory.
But they have no sovereignty.
They voted for Hamas.
They have no sovereignty at all. They don't control their airspace. They don't control their internet. They don't control their water. How do you think Israel's able to starve them right now? The fact that Israel's able to do this blockade and starve them proves that they have no sovereignty.
Myron, how are they getting water right now?
From Israel.
Okay,
Israel controls everything.
They're not killing these people. They're giving them water. They're giving them medical supply, and they're giving them food.
And they're still dying of starvation.
How many of you have died from starvation?
Thousands.
No, give me
thousands. Thousands. We don't know because so many people have been dying. We got 60,000 right now, right? We got 60,000. When this war is done and the fog of war is gone and we're able to actually recount everything and go through the rubble and everything, it's going to be hundreds of thousands. It's going to be hundreds.
That's fine. If you say hundreds of thousands, okay, there's 2 million people that live there.
2, 3, yep.
And you say the starvation. They have given hundreds of thousands of tons of food over this 2-year war. Because there was...
That doesn't mean that the food gets in.
No, yeah, because and according to the UN,
because they're not letting it in.
According to the UN, 96% of all the aid is getting looted, and this is the reason why Israel and it created a bottleneck because they did not want Hamas controlling the food, and the UN disagreed, and so they created another supply chain with the United States of America, and they created avenues in which they can get the food in an equitable way without it getting looted. And this is what they did. This is why they're still eating. You can go see pallets and pallets of food
that are not in Gaza
on the border that they hadn't been getting because of the UN.
Outside.
Because of the UN.
No, because Israel will not allow them to get in to bring in the food.
Myron,
workers. You know how many aid workers have been killed by Israel? Israel's killed journalists. They've killed aid workers, to include American citizens. They've killed paramedics.
There's no legitimate evidence of them killing aid workers. However, there are evidence of them killing journalists. They kill in strategic strikes. And some of these journalists were a part of.
They killed paramedics. They killed 20. They killed 20 paramedics and gave them a shallow grave, and then lied about it, saying that they didn't have their emergency lights on. The New York Times wrote a whole thing about this, showing that they did have their emergency lights on, and they were clearly wearing markers. And then a couple of different countries sent in aid workers to bring in food from like United Kitchen, etc. And they bomb and kill them. Australians, Americans, Canadians, bomb and kill them.
They argued that there was a mistake, and they owned up to it. They said they did, and they said it was a mistake.
Oh, it's a mistake. Like this is unacceptable,
Myron. If they wanted to kill hundreds of theyousands of people, they can do it.
Yeah,
they're not doing
that.
Yeah, because
if they wanted to starve them, they could starve them and cut off their water supply, and they'd be dead in the first, 8 months. Why are they not doing that, Myron, if they want to commit a genocide and they're trying to kill all these people?
Because you can't be as obvious about it. The goal is to make it so bad.
They're obvious according to you.
The goal
according to you.
The goal here is this. This is the goal. The goal is to make it so bad and uninhabitable that they have no choice but to leave the land so that Israel can go ahead and colonize that part as well. That's what the goal is.
Israel already have control militarily
surrounding
the land of Gaza. They already have control over the airspace and the sea. So it's not something new that they're trying to invent. They tried to give them, they withdrew. They pulled up the graves of Jews from Gaza.
Yep.
They forced Jews out. The idea forced Jews out against their will to vacate Gaza.
That was a political
play.
Give
it to the Palestinians.
That was a political play. They did that so that they can expand the West Bank.
They still force people out.
They did that so they can expand the West Bank. That's why they did that. They did that as a political, fake out so that they could continue to expand on the West Bank, because that's where they actually want to focus on putting a lot of the illegal, which those settlements, by the way, in West Bank are 100% illegal.
No, they're not 100% illegal. That's not true.
The entire international community has condemned it and said it's illegal. They're 100% illegal.
I have a inkling that you may not understand what the West Bank actually looks like.
No, I know what it looks like. It's disconjointed, right, land,
right,
that isn't contiguous for the Palestinians, and they did that on purpose, by the way, with all of their different partition plans that they've had. And
we could talk. True. It's up for debate.
There's roads there that Palestinians can't even use, and they've strategically cut the West Bank up in a way where it makes it extremely difficult for Palestinians to have any type of ability to do trade, to have any type of sovereignty, etc. They did this on purpose so that it's.
Well,
go ahead.
I disagree with you, but if they did it on purpose, then so what?
The settlements are illegal.
No, it's not illegal.
Yes, they are, because when they had the Oslo Accords and they've had these different agreements, the agreement was, hey, look, we're going to go ahead and work on the Oslo Accords. Was supposed to be a framework for a two-state solution, right? And that was contingent upon them coming and revisiting and having something, making agreements to create some type of two-state solution.
So, Skeptic, clearly Officer Tatum didn't do his research. What do you think about what they're talking about? Is it an apartheid? Is it a genocide? What do you think?
I think a genocide is better, like a better thing to be said. I had this very interesting conversation with someone, so I just kind of want to share some pinpoints from this conversation, because I think it was very, it kind of opened my eyes to see things differently. So being from Israel, being from the nation, means that you're Israeli, and then being Jewish means that you're you have this belief system, this religion, right? So someone was saying to me, Israelis disagree with what the government is doing, kind of like how Americans disagree with their government with, for example, I'm going to use an example and I'm going to get triggered, like tariffs with Canadians. Canadians boycotted American goods because they felt attacked by America, but Americans may have a different idea, right? We may not agree with that specific idea, but our government is doing something. Because the reason why I say this is because someone was saying to me, I feel like people are generalizing that all Israelis agree with the government and what they're doing, and that's not true, because 1 million Israelis marched in protest of what the government is doing in August of 2025. So I was kind of like, oh, that's an interesting viewpoint from someone whose nationality is from Israel. So I wanted to mention that. And I think that even people from Israel can see that what the government is doing is wrong. The fact that AIPAC has a committee that is literally interjects into our government is a problem. The fact that they can give so much money to our politicians so that the government can continue to do the things that they want to do is a big problem. And it's not just that they make it difficult for people in Gaza to live, for the Palestinians. They literally want to unalive them. They literally want to see these people be gone. And you can go into the history, you can go into all the other things, but how inhumane it is to sit there and laugh because someone doesn't have a belief system like you and call them unclean and think that their life is worth less than yours is a problem. And
you saw what they said in the chat, Skeptic? That's why you're bringing that up?
No, I just have.
Somebody said that in the chat. They saying that Muslims are unclean. They going in the chat. I thought you saw what they said in the chat.
No. This is strictly from having a conversation with
they must have all the same talking points, Skeptic, because that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Jewish people, which is a very it's such a difficult thing to understand, but they have a certain belief system that literally does not allow Gentiles, which is you and I. We would, if you and I were Palestinians, we would be treated like that because we're Gentiles. We're not we're not genetically or whatever. We're not born into this, religion or we're not from this nation. So like literally you would be in that position also. And the fact that someone can sit there and laugh just because of a different religious views or because you were born in a different nation is disgusting. And like there's no other way to put it. And our nation and our money should not be involved in this. The fact that our taxpayer dollars go to this to have Palestinians be killed is like, to me, is like a terrible thing that sits in the back of my mind and should sit in the back of every American's mind.
I have a funny clip that I would like to play. Kamal, this is for you, okay? I got this with you in mind. Chad, don't go crazy when it's who it is. It's just because of what he said.
So. Grow up Renega 6 7 cent $20. Brandon Tatum got to be one of the biggest retards with his Israel stance. The guy had nothing to refute Myron. Myron hit him with fact after fact and he had absolutely nothing other than a disagree, and that's not true. Spoiler, it was true. Dude sold out to Israel for 5 bands in a Snickers bar. Pretty sad. Stay safe, Nick.
Thank you, man. Yeah, dude, he's a coon. that is a straight up coon. That's just what he is. He does it for free. He goes, I don't take money from Israel. I don't take money. Oh, you do it for free then? Wow. Wow. Good boy. Good boy. Wow. Good job. Good job, Ossifer. Ossifer, please. I can't breathe. Ossifer. Good job, Ossifer Tatum. You do it for free. Good boy. He's shilling for Israel for free. Don't even need to get paid. That's a good boy.
Julia Stomp sent $25.
The best.
Day 2 of asking.
Come on. Isn't it bad when the white supremacists are calling you that name? I'm just saying, because they were all crashing out. They've been calling Officer Tatum that the past week.
Nah, that cracker funny, man. Nick Fuentes, one of the funniest crackers that I know. He called Jason Whitlock a coon too. Said he was a fat ass coon or something like that. You feel me? Nick Fuentes, man, one spicy ass honky. I'll tell you that. But yeah, I think Officer Tatum is most definitely grifting. I think he's getting paid, and I had to turn that shit off because I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of agreeing with the piss drinking warrior himself, Myron Gaines, on some points, and I'm like, I can't do this. No way. Got to turn this off. Got to turn it off. I cannot. My soul won't let me agree with this man. And I was like, damn it. He making great points against Officer Tatum because Officer Tatum was talking out his ass. I'm like, bruh, this shit is a genocide. And some stupid motherfucker in the chat, hey, y'all, some of y'all in the chat dumb as hell. They're like, this ain't no genocide. If it was, they all be done. You dumb motherfucker. Go look up the definition of genocide. It doesn't mean everybody get eradicated. It's the process of doing it. God damn. Google, ChatGPT, Perplexity, hell, ask Jeeves at this point. Please, before y'all go in the comments saying dumb motherfucking shit, please just do your damn Inspector Gadget research first, please. Just type in, you feel me? Type it in that shit first and then come in the chat. Some of y'all probably wouldn't even type in the chat if y'all did that, you know? But yeah, y'all know how I feel about these two, man. Like, yeah, they both coons at the end of the day, but I guess Myron Gaines at this point, he was the better coon. That's what I'm saying. What's good, Dwayne?
Oh my God, not the better one. Jesus Christ. Okay, I got the next clip is for Enzo and Kamal. I mean, yeah, Enzo and Gray. Who was there first? That's the question. They about to answer that.
They were there first. What does that mean?
Okay.
Jews were there as well as the Palestinians.
Okay.
Oh, I love
the Jews
this
that you're
part.
talking about, Mizrahi Jews, aka Arab Jews, that are actually from that region. They were not the same Jews that we're talking about that occupy and run Israel now, which are Ashkenazi Jews from Ukraine, Russia, Poland. Netanyahu's Polish. Okay. Golda Meir were Ukrainian. Menachem Begin, Ukrainian. These people don't have ties to the land like that.
They do have ties to the land.
No, they don't. If you look at there's a reason why DNA tests are heavily regulated in Israel. Okay. These people don't have ties to that land. The Jews that you're thinking about, the biblical Jews, are not the same Jews of today. Okay, that is a Hezbollah lie that they use to try to tie themselves to the land and say, oh no, look, we're all Jews, we all have Jewish blood, etc. But there's different types of Jews. There's so many different types.
That's not true. There's different type of Jews, but the Ashkenazi Jews and the Jews that were there have different percentages of blood connection to the seed of Abraham, but they're all Jews. Just because they were, I say, forced out of the region at some point and they end up race mixing and coming back to the land, don't mean they have no lineage to the land. That's not true.
Here's the thing.
And they didn't come.
DNA, etc. The Palestinians are the indigenous people to that region.
No, but the Jews that were there are indigenous too. The Jews that were there alongside the Palestinians this entire time.
Yes, some of them Mizrahi Jews, the Arab Jews that are from the Levant. Yes, but the Jews that we're talking about today, the modern Jews, the white-looking guys, these Ashkenazis, they're not from that region. They have a bloodline lineage from the region. Just because they were born in Poland and other places doesn't mean that they don't have connection to the bloodline in the region. And here's the other thing too. You want to know? This is going to debunk your entire argument. The guy the father of Zionism, Theodor Herzl. Did you know that he wanted to go to Argentina first? The only reason he picked Israel, which by the way, this guy is secular. He was an atheist, just like Ben Gurion. I find it interesting that atheists say that God promised them that land, but they don't believe in God. It's another Hasbara lie. Theodor Herzl, he originally wanted to go to Argentina. But then he only said, you know what, let's go to Palestine because it's going to be easier to sell for a Zionist project. That's a dirty secret that they don't want to tell you.
But you say that, but it's funny that you say that because you can peddle that on one side. You can say that's a legitimate argument, but it's also biblical that the people of Israel will be brought back to the land of Israel.
But
it's biblical. It's also a biblical prophetic reality, and Zionists believe in that biblical reality, and that was a driving force behind the support from America and, that is exactly and American Jews.
And that is exactly why I'm telling you it's all a bunch of BS, because the founder of Zionism and the first prime minister, Ben Gurion, were both atheists. Theodor Herzl.
Just because you atheist don't mean you don't acknowledge. Just because you atheist don't mean you acknowledge the reality.
You don't believe in
God. Historicity of it.
They don't believe in God.
They don't have to believe in God
Brandon.
To understand the validity of what people are trying to convince them to do or trying to partner with them to do.
Okay.
You don't have to believe in God to understand what the Bible says. What
do you not find it crazy that the guy who said we're gonna go to first he said we're gonna go to Argentina, then he said you know what, nah. For me to sell this Zionist project, it's going to be better if I say we're going to go to Palestine because we have biblical ties to it, and it's going to be an easier sell, and we'll be able to get more people to come and join us over here. You don't think that that's problematic and that defeats the whole purpose of being biblical or doing it for religion purposes?
These guys were secular atheists. If you say that everything the secular atheist is doing is acting in poor faith, then maybe you have a point. But I don't know that man. I don't know his motives. I don't know exactly what his motives or what he was thinking about when he did it. But there is
he wanted to colonize a land.
Man, Ryan, man, bro, the H must mean hemorrhoid, bro, because you've been a pain in my ass with your chatting, bro. God damn, dog. He's saying silly shit in the damn chat. God damn.
Gray, what's your thoughts on that? Officer Tatum's in a debate, but he said he don't know what people's thinking. You kind of be doing that in debates. This is facts, though. Like we're looking at facts. We can't know what people's thinking. We talk about history and facts. What do you think? Do you agree with Officer Tatum?
Yeah, they both said facts. That were Myron Gaines basically talked about what happened. What he didn't say was the fact that the Arabs there sold the real estate to the Jewish people, and that's how they were able to build Israel. But Officer Tatum's also correct that the Bible says this, and that's the issue that they're dealing with, because we use religion and say, okay, religion says that we should be here. Of course, it's going to be hard to argue against that.
Okay, but to be clear, some land in what became Israel was sold by Arabs, including some Palestinians. However, a good chunk of it was not. So I just want to put that out there to be factual, because that's not fully true what you just said. Enzo, what's your thoughts?
I mean, I never really took a deep dive into who owned the land before or whose land it rightfully belongs to or anything like that. I've just really been surfacing on what's been going on there. That's about it with me. I mean, Myron and also Officer Tatum, obviously they got the facts behind them. I'd have to look more into it to say really anything about what they were saying. So.
Okay, Mia, you said you want to go, so go ahead and talk.
Yeah, so I find it super interesting that one of the points that Officer Tatum was trying to make when it comes to the Ashkenazi Jews or whatever, and I mean, Myron was absolutely correct. The Jews that are in Israel are European. They're European. These are not the hereditary Israelis. These are not the hereditary Hebrews of the land. The hereditary Hebrews, the indigenous of the land, are dead and buried, or they're in Gaza and they're Palestinian. That's it. They legitimately eliminated everybody with the original bloodline of that land. and they displaced them out because they were brown. You notice all Israelis are white. They're
That's
white.
not true.
I never met an Israeli.
That's not true. A lot of them got tan to them. That's not true. That's not true.
They got tan now, but if we look at their granddaddy and grandmama's pictures from immigration, they're all white. They're all white. They all come from Europe. They have Polish last names. Bibi Netanyahu's original last name is Polish. These are Europeans. And when you remember that they're Europeans and you operate from that mindset, it makes sense that they're trying to colonize the area, commit a genocide, and push the brown people out. It legitimately makes sense because that is what Europeans have done all across the globe. They go in, they try to push their narrative, they colonize, and they push everybody else out, and they claim whatever they want to do, whether it's religion, whether they're heathens, whether they're this, whether they're that. They did it to Africa. They did it to the indigenous Native Americans here. And when you look at it through that lens, that these are all Europeans, what they're doing in Palestine makes perfect sense to them because they're Europeans, so they think they're right. Point blank, period.
All right, so I do got to debunk that. Rogue Wolf is right. There are 4 different types of Jews. There are Ashkenazi, there's Sephardic Jewish, which a lot of people are Sephardic Jewish, and they are not white. They are darker. And a lot of people there are Sephardic Jewish. So that is not true. I'm just saying, if we're going to say things like that, we got to be accurate because I don't want to be labeled as anti-Semitic by saying things that are not factual. So he is right.
What's the
But I wanna agree with Mia though on this because like people that are from Israel can have different lineages. And one interesting thing about the Israelites now, the nation of Israel and the citizens of Israel, is that they do, they control why it is that you want to do genetic testing. And the reason why is because when you check your genetic, right, when you check your DNA, the hemoglobins that you carry in your body tell you where your family immigrated from. Like every time that people move from region to region, there is change in that person. Your DNA will show that. When there's mixtures, your DNA will show that. And so they tend not to like to do that. And they had it, I want to say it was like called Operation Moses, in which they literally were castrating Black men that were Jewish or Israeli. So there is a undertone of racism that has kind of been continued on in Israel. And I do think that what they're doing now, Zionism has nothing to do with religion. Let me just say this. When you talk about Herzl, right? He was an activist and he wrote the book like The New Land or Old New Land. Zionism, the majority of the people that lead in the movement of Zionism are activists, and they don't even believe in God. Saying you don't believe in God, saying that you do not believe in a religion, therefore negates any kind of argument that you want to do via a religion or Bible, because you're saying you don't believe that. You don't believe that has power in it. So trying to use the religion route to me seems to be a very manipulative way of like trying to go about something. It has nothing to do with the religion. It has to do that they do not want people that are not from their nation, that do not believe in the way that they believe, that they deem to be unholy or be Gentiles. That's what it is. They want to display, they want to kill them all off. Like that is a genocide and that is wrong. Like, I don't know. You don't have to go into all of the breakdown as to the reasoning or all of this. It's just wrong what they're doing. And the fact that they are doing it with our help is even more wrong.
What's the 4 type of Jews though? Because
I put it on the screen, Kamal. They're Sephardic.
Okay.
A lot of those Sephardic people are in like North Africa. There's Ashkenazi, they're the European, there's Mizrahi, they're in Middle Eastern and North African countries. They're Eastern Jews, and there's Ethiopian Jews that are in Ethiopia. So there are 4 kinds. And there are all kinds of shades in Israel. I've seen videos, I've seen pictures. They're not all white-ish looking. There's all kinds of shades. And there's people in the IDF that are Black. So I've seen it. I mean, you guys can look it up. So I just want to make sure if we're going to make a bold statement like that we are accurate, because that's not true.
But again, you go into Judaism as a religion. It's a belief system that they have. So like when you start breaking down as to like, do they have what the nation of Israel, what they have done, there is a lot of racist undertones to the things that they do and how they move.
All right.
What did you gonna say, Gray?
I think it's Enzo's turn.
Oh no, Enzo already went.
Oh, I wanted to say that when they came to Israel is when they bought real estate. That's how they got there. So, and y'all like to do the conspiracy theory. It was the Rothschild family and the Jewish National Fund who bought from Arab landlords. So
Oh,
there you
we know.
Yeah.
So bought them from Myron people. All right.
You're hilarious. Okay, I have another clip from Officer Tatum because he didn't just get dragged speaking to old Myron. He got dragged a few weeks before that speaking to Dave Smith.
But I think a lot of people that I know in Israel, including myself and others that are staunch Zionists, think that he is prolonging the war too long and is causing too much damage and irreversible reputational damage. He should have ended it sooner, and he should have went harder. In America, if we had faced such brutality, rape, people getting their heads cut off. I saw videos of people getting their heads cut off. We would have been swift. Within 48 hours, we would have caused the most damage that you've ever seen to a country in world history. And Netanyahu, for whatever reason, is capitulating, in my personal opinion, to his own personal image, and that he don't want to look bad. He don't want to be shamed. He don't want people to say that he's committing a genocide. So he's playing in the middle for too long. 2 years of this war is too much. He should have eliminated Hamas immediately, and he should not worry about the naysayers. He's darned if he do, he's darned if he don't. He is not committing a genocide in Gaza. I think that's disingenuous at best, because no one committing a genocide will be giving food or aid to a people that they're trying to kill. They would not be sending leaflets and advising people of buildings that they're going to tear down. The population has grown in Gaza from 1948 all the way up until today. 500,000 they started with. They're at 2 million at this point. When did the genocide start? There is no genocide. People can argue the tactics that Netanyahu is displaying in Gaza, but you cannot be superfluous and add these arguments that seems to, in my opinion, be anti-Semitic in many ways. It's not, these people are terrorists, and not the Gazan people, the regular everyday individual, the terrorist group that came into a country and attempted to commit a genocide against Israel. They would have committed a genocide against Israel to a large proportion if it wasn't for the IDF and if it wasn't for the Iron Dome. Let's not forget, they shot 4,000 missiles into Israel. They tried to kill everybody. The IDF is going in strategically. I wish that people had not died. I wish that they could end the war so there's no suffering. I wish that Hamas wasn't stealing food. The UN confirmed that 96% of all the aid is being looted. I wish that Hamas wasn't doing those things. I wish that Hamas would take the approach of Israel, which means when the rockets go flying into Israel, the people go into bomb shelters. When rockets go flying into Gaza, the terrorists go into bomb shelters, and they make their people stay above ground to be the blunt force of what they receive in a war that they started for no reason. Hamas knew they could never beat the IDF in Israel. Why did they start the war? Why did they initiate conflict? Why did they rape people and do things like that and videotape it?
Okay, Skeptic, what do you think about what he said? Is he factual? Like, I don't know. He said a whole bunch of jibber jabber. Basically, he's justifying. I mean, I don't know.
Someone in the comments said, "I don't know how people can watch him." I honestly have never seen this man. And
you never. He's the co-founder of Blexit. He worked with Charlie Kirk at Turning Point. He actually lives and works for Turning Point.
But I will say, I could never. This man is so just like the points that he's giving are so like what? I don't even have like the like. To even like go against what he's saying is so dumb that I'm just like, what are you talking about? What, like, also I think it's like funny because we literally know for a fact that they have withheld giving medical help to the people in Gaza. They have withheld food. They have, like, what are you talking about, dude? He really is either misinformed or he's being paid. I don't know, but it seems like this guy has some kind of, he's somehow benefiting from saying all these things because it makes zero sense. Even some people that I know that are very much pro-Israel don't even say the things that he's saying because he's like clearly misinformed. So honestly, at this point, I feel like America, the one thing that we should do is to get out of this. If we were not to fund Israel, I feel like, and allow the UN to come in and like give help to Gaza, I think that would be the best thing moving forward. Like the fact that this president ever said that they wanted to come down and just turn Gaza into like a mall strip or whatever they said they wanted to do, I think it's like, number one, it's like unrealistic, and number two, it's not going to be beneficial to the people of Gaza. So I think that if we can do anything is to withhold our funding to Israel, because we give them a lot of money. We should stop giving them all the money, and we should help the UN provide aid to Gaza. And like Israel should just allow them. I know they have this whole plan where they said they're going to be at peace and they're going to do all these things, but I just do not see how Israel is truly going to, the way that they've come to the agreement and the wording that they say to me is so like demeaning, and it just seems like Israel is saying, yeah, good luck with that. We'll see if they can control their people. We'll see if the government can actually come in and do the things that they're saying that they need to do. So I don't think that that's actually going to help if we don't take the money. The funding from us, from the U.S., needs to stop to Israel. I think that should be one of the biggest things. We should start pushing back on how much money we give to them. We give them way too much money and way too much reinforcement when it comes to weapons and to their military.
Yeah, and I have another clip. This is him calling out MTG because she called out what skeptics saying on the funding that we're giving. Man, he's getting a lot of shekels. Let me play the clip.
This real quick. You know, the funny thing is you never hear this or them care about any other country, any other people doing this or whatever. It's only because it's Israel that is somehow projected as a nefarious thing from the onset. Think about this for a second, right? Her thing is that the freshmen, and I'm just going to read this. It says those trips are by American Israeli Education Foundation. It's not by AIPAC. AIPAC does not fund these trips. So therefore, she's being disingenuous about it from the start. AIPAC is not funding these trips. People can voluntarily go on a trip. She says she didn't go. So they're not making Congress members go. She didn't go. You don't have to go if you don't want to. And then this whole idea that Christians are going and observing Jewish monuments and historical sites. Dummy. Our Lord and Savior was a Jew. These sites were the sites that Jesus Christ was at. Jesus Christ observed many of these places. He was a Jew. Do we not forget that Jesus was a Jew? So all of the temples, all of the temple references, all of the law, the Sabbath, the cleaning of hands, everything that Jews do today, Jesus did when he was walking around in Jerusalem. And I went, nobody made me put a yarmulke on and kiss the wall. I'm not going to ever kiss the wall and do all that. I respect the Jewish tradition of doing that. I respect Americans who want to join in that thousands of year tradition or however long they've been doing it. I don't want to do it. And nobody make you do it. You don't go to Israel and they go, you better get on that wall. And some people just want to show a sign of respect. Why does that have to be deemed nefarious? I don't understand. If you want to go to Israel to see the Holy Land, there's a lot of biblical historical sites where Jesus was in the tomb, where Jesus may have been crucified, the Mount of Beatitudes where Jesus gave his speech, the Sea of Galilee, the city of David, the word Gehenna. They show you where Gehenna is around the city of Jerusalem, where in the Bible, it's said it's hell. They burn people and kids and sacrifices in Gehenna. You look at all of those things. You go to the Dead Sea. I mean, you go to the Mount of Olives. You could go to, the wilderness where Jesus was tempted by the devil. Like, why would a Christian think it's nefarious if you're invited to go to Israel, to the Holy Land where your Lord and Savior lived and where the Bible came from? But for some reason, they got to make it all bad and nefarious because it's Israel. And I want people to understand this. It's a legal, separate affiliation and it's pre-cleared by House Ethics. So the House Ethics Committee pre-clears the American Israeli Education Foundation to send people voluntarily to Israel to have an experience of the Holy Land. But for some reason, Marjorie Taylor Greene, in her mind, think that it has to be something nefarious associated, even though it's not even AIPAC that's even sending people anyway. Next one.
Wow. Mia, what do you think about the tours, the trips, kissing the wall, all of that?
You know, I don't think I've ever called somebody a coon, but I mean, he's getting me real close, man. He's getting me real close, because this is like
play the sound.
Ridiculous behavior. I mean, so first we're going to debunk the ethics committee. 80% of those people are AIPAC Israel funded candidates. Of course, they're going to say going to Israel's fine. It's no big deal. And then there's a lot of overlap between the Israel Education Fund and AIPAC. So they're basically the same entity under two LLCs. We're not going to glide by that. And AIPAC is the only foreign policy maker at this point in time, is what I'm going to call them, that doesn't have to register as a foreign agent. Why? Because 96% of our congressional motherfuckers take money from them. I mean, literally, there's nothing that isn't not seedy about this entire situation. It's all seedy.
By the way, I fact checked him on something, Neil. I want to bring this up. He said that Byron Donalds only, remember what he said, 30,000? That's a lie. Byron Donalds takes about 100,000 a year from AIPAC. I don't know if you remember when he said that in the debate too.
And I mean, I will say he did bring up a lot of valid points when it comes to visiting Israel. If you're looking to get that religious experience, obviously that's incredibly valid. I'm not religious. So, I mean, for me, I'm never going to go there, but I can see how people of all religions would want to be there. That obviously is valid for educational purposes. However, everything else he said is ridiculous. I don't want to call him that terrible word, because I've been called that word a lot in my life and it's terrible, but I'm real close, because he's exhibiting some ridiculous behaviors lately. I'm not going to call him it, but he might be one.
I got you. You feel me?
Can I also say that his argument about Christianity is a silly one, because
well, you know, he doesn't believe in the Trinity. By the way,
but also,
that was another thing I realized.
Who killed Jesus? Like, who asked for him to be killed and then mocked him?
They're trying to change that, skeptic. They're trying to change that. If you look it up, they're saying they're blaming all on Pontius Pilate. If you look that up, by the way.
But the Pharisees asked for him to be killed, and then they said, "Let the blood fall on us. Like, let the guilt be on us." Right? And then the crazy part about it is, for Christians, like, you're an uneducated Christian. I hate when people say like they're Christian and they don't even understand the like doctrinal points of Christianity. Christianity is a reformation of Judaism. It's not Judaism. Like, it's almost night and day from Judaism. When you speak on the Tanakh, that's the Old Testament. Christians don't even hardly go into the Old Testament. They see it as stories. The Judaic beliefs are literally founded on the Tanakh, on the Torah, on different books that are like Jewish, like written, and they stand on the law. Like, Christians don't even, they wouldn't know the law if like it slapped them in the face. The Christianity is a reformation because of grace and love and forgiveness. Because guess what, Christians? You are Gentiles. You are not of the original people. Were you born in the nation? Are you Jewish? Is your mom Jewish? No. Okay. You are a Gentile. So like, for Christians to sit there, also like when you go and visit, what do you visit? Like, I don't know. It just seems to me like you're uneducated in your own religion. And to like, it's funny that he wants to sit there. The religious viewpoint to me is it's like one that boils my blood, because it's so fake and so just doesn't make any sense to me.
No, you're not wrong, skeptic. But he also doesn't believe in the Trinity. So let's just leave it there. Well, that's another conversation for another day. Gray, what's your thoughts? Is he the word that Mia didn't want to say? What do you think about what he said? Do you think he was out of his league in this debate?
I don't use that word. I felt like you played that clip on purpose. That's probably what you be wanting to say.
What?
When you played?
No, I played that clip to show that it got to be real bad when the racist white boys is calling you that name.
Yeah, I agree with you guys that it does seem like he's being paid to say certain things, because he's kind of going like extra hard. I thought you was gonna play the clip where he said they only spit on us once.
Yes, I'll play it.
Yeah.
I have that clip.
Yeah,
I'll
go ahead.
I got 2 more clips. This is gonna be my next to last one. My last one we'll all give our closing thoughts on. My next after this one. Here we go. This is him with Netanyahu.
If you actually talk to the majority of Christians, talk to them, you'll see what they say. They say Israel is the only place where we're respected and protected.
And I can attest to that as a Christian who went to Israel. I spent 2 weeks there with the church, and we had an incredible time. We had only one incident where a small child spit on one of the pastors, and immediately after, there was an adult that came by and said, "That's not a representation of who we are. You know, we love you guys. You guys are always welcome here." And I have to say, no adults gave us any grief. We had no issues whatsoever in our experience there. It was actually an amazing experience.
So, Grace, since you requested that I play that clip, what's your thoughts on that clip?
When I saw that originally, when he said we only got spat on once, I just thought that was crazy. Like, because if it would have been a black person that did something to Officer Tatum, sneezed on him wrong, he would have been going hard. He would have posted every single day saying how horrible they are. But you go to Israel, like, oh, we only got spat on once. So it's just like, when you have an agenda, you don't seem trustworthy. It's just I just couldn't believe he said that.
Man, fuck all that. I'm about to say it for y'all. This nigga's a coon, man. God damn. Y'all saying this.
Play it again.
He's a coon. God damn. Him and Myron Gaines. LB things, stuff and more. You're right. It's a coon-demic out here. God damn.
Enzo,
Jesus Christ.
Through Enzo's live, there's this guy that does Trump impersonations. I'm thinking about having him pay to like make a list and call out all the coons. I'm just thinking about it. How fucking funny would that
It's
be?
funny as hell.
Fucking voice calling it out and saying,
No, like,
I wonder if he'll do it.
Trump.
She
Like, if you closed your eyes and you didn't even think he was there, you think Donald
like
Trump's in the room with you. Like, it's crazy how good he does it.
Damn. That'd be interesting.
Okay. I'm gonna play one more clip. They did find agreement on something, and we can all give our closing thoughts. Hopefully we can all find agreements on something at the end. Here's what Officer Tatum and Myron said.
You will end on this in an agreement.
Sure.
I do not think people who have a dual allegiance, or when I say dual allegiance, but they have an affinity, an allegiance to Israel over America, should be serving in the American military. I mean, serving in the American politics.
I agree.
In American politics. I do not think a person that comes out and says that they believe in Israel over America should be serving anywhere. I will never support a person like that. And I think there's no place in America for somebody like that. If you live in America, America comes first. If you Jewish, if you African, I don't care what you are, America comes first. And so we will agree that it is a problem if people put Israel over America and they're serving in our government. That is a problem, and you and I both can be against that person. Yes. I will join you in that effort to, if a person is legitimately saying, I prefer Israel over Americans' interests, I disavow that person. I will never vote for that person. And you point them out, I will shun them.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think anyone that has another passport, or even someone that, you know, I don't even think people that have a tie to Israel should be in politics at all.
That's not right, because I know people, one of my friends, he got married, and he has, I think they gave him dual citizenship in American Israel.
Shouldn't
probably
serve.
Would never go there because it's hard to get over there.
He shouldn't serve.
No, he didn't serve anywhere. He a proud American.
But that individual should never.
Bryson Gray, you know Bryson, he raps.
Yeah, he has an Israeli citizenship.
I think they grant you Israeli citizenship when you get married by a rabbi.
Yeah,
we were at his wedding. They got a certificate.
They got a
certificate where they can be.
If you got a foreign passport at all, or foreign citizenship anywhere, I don't care if you go there anyway, you should not be able to serve in any type of government capacity.
All right, so we all give closing thoughts and our thoughts on it. Skeptic, so nice of you to have you back. Hopefully we can continue the immigration debate. We are going to be talking about it again Thursday night. I got to show you the rest of my clips, but what's your closing thoughts?
I do want to say to all the brown people, immigrants, if you have family that are immigrants, your grandparents, and you have the right to vote, go and vote to make a difference. Go and vote so that your family can stop being terrorized. Go and make, go register if you've never registered. I think there's a lot of children of immigrants or a lot of people that have the right to vote that just have never registered and just have never really been into politics. This is the time to get into politics. This is the time to go and do your research and find out what it is you need to do, how you need to vote to make a difference here in America, because there is a direct attack against immigrants, of all immigrants, legal and illegal. And they all put us in the same boat. They don't even know the difference between refugees, immigrants, undocumented immigrants. They don't care. They see you brown, they see you a target. So I say go and vote. It is millions of us here. I am a child of an immigrant. I know a lot of immigrants that are here that have had many children. Go and register to vote. Let's make a difference and let's change this nation. I'm on TikTok. If you want to go find me, The Skeptic, probably going to be live later on today. This is one of the topics that is really hot right now. So we're probably going to be touching up on this topic also. So follow me there. And it's been a good night. Good talk tonight.
Yeah, go support Skeptics Live, guys. Her lives be lit. It's very left leaning, but I will say they do let people on the right as long as you're respectful. Mia, what's your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts tonight are, I want to dedicate this closing thoughts. God, I can't speak, to Kyron Lacey. Information has been released by his lawyer that he was wrongfully accused by the state of Louisiana. And I think it's a big deal. And I think we should keep saying his name. So this is for Kyron Lacey. God rest his soul. And this is for his family. And I hope they are able to get a very large civil lawsuit against all of those players. And hopefully this will help his siblings go to college and make it easier for his family to take care of themselves.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
You heard about that case, Kamal?
I'm talking about it tomorrow. You know, for damn sure I'm going to talk about it.
Look at you, Kamal. Okay. Kamal, what's your closing thoughts?
First of all, like I said, I'm about to talk about that Kyron Lacey case tomorrow and all the shit that's going on. If y'all want to go check that out, go to Kamal Johnson Network on YouTube. Also, if y'all watching on my end, I got the new party pinned at the top of my chat. Y'all go sub to him. And also on both channels, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. You feel me? Also, everybody else on the panel, y'all go follow them on TikTok and on YouTube. All right. A couple of us on Twitter too, you feel me? Tonight panel was very interesting. It was actually good, you feel me? We didn't agree on things. Shit got a little spicy, but we kept it composed, you feel me? You know, and that's what I like about the new party. We could have opposing views and things and that shit, and we could still keep our composure and not really get out of hand. You feel me? I'm for the illegal immigrants to get the fuck out of here. You feel me? I just want them. I just want them gone. We did our research. They taking more from the American dollar than really bringing in. You feel me? So I just want them out of here. And they really taking a lot of resources from Black communities, because people in Black communities that be on Spaces and TikTok and Twitter, they talk about the shit. From P. Ray to Mark Carter, that's out there in the Shy and shit. They the ones that's like, we want ICE here. We want illegal immigrants out of here because y'all spitting in our fucking face after we fought and our ancestors and our people fought for the civil rights and shit. And now y'all over here and y'all spitting in our fucking face. So we ain't having that shit. Okay? Second, John, I am not MAGA. I'm apolitical. All right? I can't wear the hat, brother. I know you want to send you said $100 super chat? Or is it 20? We gonna up the ante. We go $100? Is that what you said, John? You gonna send a super chat or wear the hat?
Do it.
Nah, but yeah. And then on the next topic, Brandon Johnson. Hey, you had Nora, you had a lot of coon speaking today. Was this a coon dialect episode? Because you had Brandon Johnson and that motherfucker.
Brandon Tatum.
No, you had Brandon Johnson talking too from Chicago, the mayor.
Oh, him. Okay.
Yeah. The baby Mohawk. But he not listening to the people in the Shy also. Like, the people are saying they want the ICE agents there, and they saying their resources is being taken away from illegal immigrants. Okay. So I'm gonna listen to the sources. Also the Officer Tatum, I don't think he do much research. He just talking, and that's what most people that grift do. They just run their fucking mouth. When you have Google, Ask Jeeves, Perplexity, it's all right there. You could do it. You feel me? So Tatum was getting his ass whooped by the piss drinking warrior, and I couldn't listen to the rest of the debate. I can't. My soul would not let me agree with Myron Gaines with his anti-black ass alongside with like Tatum. He anti-black than the motherfucker, and so it was hard. I tried Nora to listen to it all, but my Black American soul was like, you gotta stop listening to these coons, because coons is poisonous. All right. And I said for Mia and Gray, they some coons. All right. You feel me? So with that being said, I'm about to go listen to some Black empowerment, because it was a lot of coon dialect on this show today with the clips we were playing. And at the end of the day, yes, it is a genocide that's going on. If you don't think it's a genocide, you got your head up your ass. Okay. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Y'all's live today. Shout out to people that was on the Twitter end, liking, reposting, and the people that was on my end in the chat, typing away and stuff like that. And Ryan H, man, shout out to you, bro. But you most definitely was a pain in my ass in the chat today. You were saying some cool stuff, but some shit you were saying was silly as hell, man. So, but shout out to you, bro.
And so, what's your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts are, it was a good episode. One thing I'm really just going to touch on is we got a lot of things going on in this country about illegal immigrants after the failures of the last administration. You have everybody on the left screaming and crying for illegal immigrants and criminals to be brought back to this country, and protests standing outside of ICE facilities, shooting up ICE facilities, all for people that are not authorized to be in this country. If you went to their country, they'd be doing the exact same thing to you. They'd be throwing you out of your country. And like we said before, or like I said before, sorry, if America is so fucking racist, then why fucking come here? If that's how you guys feel about this country, then by all means, there's the door you can leave. I'm never going to sympathize with anybody on the left ever of, well, they pick our crops, they make everything cheaper, when we literally fought a civil war over slavery in this country because we saw that slavery was bad and the exploitation of people was bad. We'll never sit here and listen to the same exact game that the Democrats have been pulling for over 100 years in this country, and then for the same breath, or from the same breath of those people say, oh, well, there was a party shift. Obviously, there wasn't a party shift. We all know that because you guys are still spewing the same exact bullshit. So for anybody who's out there, I implore you to do your own research. Stop listening to the propaganda. Stop listening to left-wing hacks who are going to tell you everything that's going to make you feel good and give a good story about it, so you don't have to go think for yourself and look things up. That's all I'm going to say. With that being said, I hope everybody has a great night. I thought this was a great episode.
Thank you, Enzo.
Hold on, can I say something real quick? Now,
Sure.
now, bro, you pushing it, motherfucker.
You didn't see what he said. That's why I put it on the
Black
screen.
empowerment subsidized by your tax dollars for welfare. You son of a... Look, I only try to clown one person at a time in the chat, and Ryan was the lucky contender, but you pushing it. All right, bruh?
Oh, God. Okay, Gray, what's your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts was about the National Guard going to Portland. Like, what's the point of this? At first, it seemed like this was about stopping crime. Now it kind of seems like this is just being done for a more nefarious reason. So I'm not understanding why we're seeing all these National Guard troops when the federal government is then being sued. So this basically seems like a waste of time. As far as the illegal immigrants, we have actual Americans, farmers having to claim bankruptcy because they lost employees. So it seems like American citizens are being affected by these policies that are being made. My neighbor who I talked to today had to go to the Social Security office, and he couldn't do stuff with Social Security because the government was shut down. So this stuff is actually starting to affect like real people I know. So I don't feel like we should be wasting time with all of this stuff. We should be doing stuff that helps actual Americans. And as far as the foreign policy with Israel, it doesn't matter if it was Trump or if it was Kamala. They're going to be on the side of Israel. It's bad. Of course, people losing their lives is absolutely awful, but that's their biggest ally over there. And I just think that's what they're going to do. Like we always show a new party, always vote.
Oh, Lord. Okay. All right. Doing stuff. Yeah, we should be doing stuff. Read books. talk to your neighbors, support each other, and vote and uplift each other and share positivity. I do want to start with this. Today was the anniversary for October 7th. I do want to say a few short words today. Remember the lives lost on October 7th. And I do support the people of Israel as they are one of our greatest allies. However, I do want to reflect on the lives lost in Palestine, over 75,000 lives, many of them children. And I want to end on this because someone in the chat, they said Jews stand with each other only. But you guys need to realize that Jews and Arabs are branches of the same ancient tree, rooted in the same soil and nourished by the same history. Genetically and historically, Jews and Arabs are cousins, descended from common Semitic ancestors who once lived side by side in the Middle East. Anyone that tells you otherwise is spreading anti-Semitism, and they want division and hatred between Jews and Arabs. Think to yourself, who does it benefit that Jews and Arabs don't get along? It benefits Europe. It benefits the elites. So guys, take a step back. If you're not an elite and you're saying anti-Semitic things against Arabs or anti-Islamophobic things, and you call yourself a Jew, and if you're Arabic and you're saying anti-Semitic things against Jews, this is the agenda that they want. They want us divided and separated. God bless. Good night and peace.